Penn State versus Nebraska. It goes down this Friday. This is a massive, massive dual meet with some really intriguing matchups. And now for the Nittany Lions, this is one of the tests we've been looking most forward to. And to this point in time, Penn State has not faced the toughest competition, but they have been nothing short of spectacular, almost perfection. Just 2 losses on the year for Penn State starters. But on the other side of the coin, only 5 of their wrestlers have wins over All-Americans this year, so the schedule has not been that tough. But now the rubber meets the road in the Big Ten dual season, and it's going to be Penn State versus Nebraska this Friday. And while there's no doubt Penn State is going to win this dual meet, there are some amazing early matchups in the lighter weights that I want to focus on here, as we're going to see the Penn State Nittany Lions tested in some of these early matchups. Starting at 125, Lightning Luke Lillodahl is going to take on his first All-American, Caleb Smith. This is the first AA Luke's faced this year, and I think it's an amazing test for him. And I think Caleb can present a lot of problems for Luke Lillodahl. One, he's really quick, he's elusive, he's tough to get to. He's going to slow things down. Caleb Smith is very comfortable wrestling a really close, tight match. Another factor for Caleb that could test Luke is his ability to wrestle from the top position. He's tough, he can ride, he can turn. We've seen him have success against really good wrestlers, but it's Luke Lillodahl, and this is a guy who is on many people's short list for candidates that could win 125 pounds at NCAAs. And if that's the case, he should be able to beat someone like Caleb Smith. Caleb Smith currently ranked number 6 in America. Lillodahl still ranked 16th. That's a byproduct of his schedule more than anything. I think this is close to a coin flip match. There's no way this is a runaway match for either guy. That would really shock me given both of their styles. Lillodahl's got a shot here, but it's going to be a tough test, the toughest test of his NCAA career, no doubt. But let's be clear. When I say toughest test of his NCAA career, that's a serious caveat, because this is a guy who wrestled an incredibly elite high school schedule and a very elite international freestyle schedule. He's wrestled at U20 World Championships, brought home a medal. Very, very elite wrestler who's faced a lot of incredible wrestlers throughout his career. So that's a great start to this dual meet. And then at 133, people may be overlooking this match a little bit. Jacob Van D versus Braden Davis. Van D's ranked 16th, 6th for Braden Davis, but Davis can wrestle in some closer, more controlled matches, and Van D has a lot of ways he can score. He'll give up some points. Tough from the top position, can counter, scramble. Braden, very solid wrestler, a very tough guy to open up. Defensively, very few vulnerabilities. When he picks his spots to score, he often scores. He can ride situationally. Braden Davis is a favorite here, but don't let the ranking disparity fool you here. I think this is going to be a pretty close matchup between these two. And then you go to 141, Brock Hardy versus Bo Bartlett, and you look at the results over the last year and change, and you would say, okay, you lean Bo Bartlett here. And I do think Bo is likely to win this matchup, but recall, these two have split in their career. Hardy won the first match. Bo Bartlett won last year. And so this will only be the third meeting, which is kind of surprising considering they've both been at the same weight the last few years. They wrestle in the same conference. The teams often duel one another, but it'll only be their third matchup. And with Brock Hardy, the more chaos that he can inject in the match, the better, right? This is someone who wants a lot of exchanges. He wants you attacking him. He wants to attack you. He wants a lot of rolling around. Bo Bartlett, he's kind of the opposite, right? He is a master of control. He is someone who picks his spots. He is really tough to open up. I would be surprised if this ends up being a match with a lot of different exchanges, just because Bo does a great job of making the match have the pace and the exchanges that he's looking for. But I can see Brock Hardy forcing the issue and making this a really exciting matchup. So Bo's the favorite, but you cannot count someone with Brock Hardy's big point scoring ability out in this matchup at 141. And then 149, I think this is my most anticipated match of this dual meet, maybe the weekend. Ridge Lovett of Nebraska taking on Shane Van Ness. Now, Van Ness has looked utterly dominant this year. I mean, he has to be on the short list for Hodge Trophy candidates right now with the level of bonus that he's wrestling at. A lot of pins, a lot of techs. His match against Ty Waters was a major decision, I believe, and that was an All-American a year ago. But now, this is no doubt the toughest test for Shane Van Ness this year. Ridge Lovett was the 1 seed at NCAAs last year. He was the Big Ten champion. Really tough from the top position. Very hard guy to score on. But can Ridge Lovett withstand the pace, the onslaught of offense that Shane Van Ness is going to bring to this matchup. Shane is, I mean, head down, moving forward, moving his hands, moving his feet. A lot of attacks, a lot of fakes. Um, this is a tough matchup. This is one where I think Ridge has to get on top early. He needs to ride. He needs to slow the match down. Kind of like in football, if you got a high-powered offense on the other side, you want to control the line of scrimmage and run the ball and keep that quarterback on the sidelines. That's kind of what you want to do here with Shane Van Ness. You want to keep him off you. Well, then to do that, you got to get on top and really test him from the top position and see if Shane Van Ness can get away. I think Van Ness is the favorite here, but Ridge Lovett has won a lot of big matches in his career and has a great chance to beat Shane Van Ness and restore a little more chaos or insert a little more chaos into 149. And then 157. I mean, this is a crazy start to this dual meet. Every match is fireworks. And then you got this one. Antrell Taylor from Nebraska taking on Tyler Kasak of Penn State. And Kasak is ranked higher. This is a number 3 versus number 5. And while Kasak is ranked higher, Antrell has had a much, much tougher schedule. He has wrestled at Cliff Keen, Las Vegas, and he had a crazy match with Ryder Downey. And then he wrestled Ryder Downey later in a dual meet, falling to Ryder in sudden victory. I think Antrell's looking really good. This is a big physical 157. He was an All-American at 165 a year ago. Now he's down at 157, probably his more natural weight. This is a very different test for Tyler Kasak, who the only All-American he's faced this year was Keller from Ohio. More of a scrambler, more of a guy who wants exchanges. Antrell Taylor's going to come out. He wants to wrestle from underhooks. He's very tough to get to. I think this is a real interesting test for Tyler Kasak, and will further legitimize him as a title contender. Or maybe if he loses, it could pull him back to the field with really high All-American caliber. But is he ready to get into that Meyer Shapiro, Ja'Cory Teamer class? I think we'll find that out in this matchup. And you know, from 65 up, it's pretty treacherous for the Cornhuskers. I mean, Penn State throws Mitchell Messenbrink, Levi Haynes, Carter Starachi, Josh Barr, Greg Kerfleet to bring out. I mean, that's ugly. That's ugly for almost everyone. And it'll be probably pretty ugly here for Nebraska. But 174, you have Pinto versus Starachi. That's exciting. I mean, Pinto is a high flyer and someone who can have some, you know, big moves, but it's Carter Starachi, right? Or Levi Haynes. So Levi, big favorite against Pinto. And then Silas Allred, Big Ten champion, taking on Carter Starachi. Starachi's looked almost untouchable this year, and Allred coming off a pretty lopsided loss to Minnesota freshman Max McAnally. Two tough freshmen at 197 with Camden McDaniel versus Josh Barr. So, and then Greg Kerfleet will be a big favorite over Harley Andrews at heavyweight. But an amazing, amazing dual meet, an interesting test for a lot of Penn State's wrestlers. Do you think Nebraska has a shot? Where do you see their opportunity to knock off Penn State? Could Caleb Smith take out Lillidahl? Could Hardy win the rubber match against Bo Bartlett? I think it's a riveting one. What matches are you most looking forward to, Penn State, Nebraska?